Did you know that if you bend a piece of ice, you might be creating the spark that starts a lightning storm? It sounds completely impossible because we usually think of ice as a frozen, static block of water, and we think of lightning as a fiery explosion of energy. But scientists have recently discovered a connection between the two that solves one of the oldest mysteries in meteorology. To understand this, we have to look at how electricity is made in nature. For a long time, researchers were stumped. They knew that certain crystals, like quartz, generate electricity when you squeeze them, a property called piezoelectricity. But ice isn't piezoelectric. You can squeeze an ice cube as hard as you want, and it won't generate a single spark. So, if ice can't make electricity by being squeezed, how do frozen storm clouds turn into massive floating batteries? The answer lies in a property that was overlooked for years: flexoelectricity. While piezoelectricity is about squeezing, flexoelectricity is about bending. Recently, scientists conducted lab tests where they took tiny filaments of ice and physically bent them. The results were shocking. They discovered that when you bend ice, you create uneven stress. One side of the ice is stretched while the other side is compressed. This physical warping forces the electrical charges inside the ice to separate lightning. The protons move toward the stressed areas, creating a voltage difference. In the lab, just bending a small slab of ice generated a surprisingly strong electric current. Now, take that lab experiment and scale it up to the size of a massive thunderstorm. Inside a storm cloud, it is absolute chaos. You have millions of tiny ice particles, hailstones, and grapple crashing into each other, swirling in violent winds. They aren't just bumping, they are flexing. Every time a tiny ice crystal collides with another and bends even microscopically, it generates a tiny amount of electricity. When you multiply that by the trillions of collisions happening every second in a storm, those tiny voltages add up. This explains how a cloud builds up the colossal charge needed to trigger a lightning bolt. For decades, we thought ice was just a passive victim of the storm, getting blown around by the wind. But this new data proves that ice is actually the engine. It is an active participant, converting the mechanical energy of the wind into the electrical energy of lightning. So, the next time you hear thunder, remember that it likely started with a tiny piece of ice getting bent out of shape. Ice isn't just frozen water, it is a flexoelectric generator driving the most powerful light show on Earth. Subscribe if you love weather mysteries.